What's up guys, today I explain you Dragon Ball, the Saiyan-Tuffle War, explained. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe this channel, because we are close to hit the 1200 followers and now have fun with the video. The Saiyans come from planet Sadala and were originally a race of warriors with enormous strength and great fighting skills. For the most part, they were leading a sort of primitive lifestyle, concentrating on battling and surviving. Their powerful bodies had no advanced technology to rely on, and everything was to be done by self-improvement with the help of natural abilities. But it was just their volatile nature and this unquenchable thirst for battle that prevailed, and their home planet was destroyed. There remained only some Saiyans who needed to find a place to continue their lives. Prolific space wanderers finally find themselves at the doorstep of Planet Plant, a teeming world filled with life by an advanced technological civilization called the Tuffles. This was going to be, in a short length of time, the catalyst for a war that was to alter the face of Saiyan history. It was there that the Saiyans first found the Tuffles, a far more intelligent and advanced species. There, the Tuffles were highly advanced in that they had great technology, which enabled them to construct cities and infrastructures that were quite complicated. In contrast with the warlike Saiyans, the Tuffles were a peaceful race, and they focused their energies on innovations rather than wars. Despite such extreme differences, the Saiyans and the Tuffles coexisted for a time. The Saiyans lived on the fringes of the planet, taking up desolate and arid land, while the Tuffles enjoyed verdant and urbanized spaces. But the difference in lifestyles, added to the innate Saiyan disposition toward conquest and dominance, made it inevitable that one day, tension would arise between the two races. Matters came to a head when the displeased Saiyans, seeing the conditions they lived in, began coveting the prosperity enjoyed by the Tuffles. While the Tuffles were enjoying a life of affluence, the physically strong Saiyans had struggled to survive in the desolate parts of the planet. It was this inequality that made the Saiyan need to take what was rightfully theirs. It was here that the powerful commanding leader of the Saiyans had an idea as to how he could defeat the Tuffles and obtain their extensive cities and technology. Tuffles knew about Saiyans, but it was also believed that the threat did not become very serious since it was believed in the functional conception of their technologies. This is because, through their raw power, there was a willingness to wage war at all costs. There it was, the Saiyan-Tuffle war, a fight between brute strength and technological might. The Saiyans and Tuffles engaged in a long and gory war, with both sides suffering grievous losses. Initially, the Tuffles were holding their own with their high-tech weaponry and knowledge of better tactics. Because of their technological superiority, the Tuffles had little problem forcing the Saiyans back during the initial phases of the war, despite the latter being a physically powerful race. The Saiyans had, however, one advantage through their natural Saiyan biology. They increased in strength after every battle. Thus, whenever the Saiyans were beaten, they eventually returned with more power, balancing their gap against the Tuffles little by little. The point that changed the tide of war was when the full moon ensured the natural transformation of the Saiyans into great apes, thus increasing their powers greatly. As great apes, the Saiyans were almost invincible and created havoc among the cities of the Tuffles. For their part, the Tuffles had no way of counterbalancing such a colossal force now being hurled by the now transformed Saiyans, and thus began to fall back in droves. For all their technological advances, the Tuffles could not resist these ape-like Saiyans and their tremendous powers of destruction. The Saiyan-Tuffle war ended with the absolute victory of the Saiyans, destroying the Tuffle civilization in their great ape form and conquering Planet Plant. Once a very advanced and thriving species in the past, they were led to utter annihilation, completely ruining the cities and technologies built with them. In honor of the first king of the Saiyans, King Vegeta, the Saiyans renamed the former Planet Plant to Planet Vegeta after the war. The annihilation of the Tuffles gave the Saiyans an opportunity to gain control over the planet and, of course, all of the advanced technology the Tuffles had. This technology was one of the major factors in further conquests to be made by the Saiyans to gain further control across the galaxy and become an overall feared force in the universe. The Saiyan-Tuffle War was of immense importance in turning around the history of the Saiyans. The war made the Saiyans a dominant species, and for the first time, they got hold of advanced technology that would help them in their intergalactic conquests. All this victory also underlined the brutal and annihilating nature of the Saiyans, who killed an entire civilization just to gain dominance. While the Tuffles faded into historical obscurity, remnants of their technology, and frequent references to their civilization continued to remind one of their existence. The war with the Saiyans was a testament to their strength and resilience, but also an omen of their eventual downfall at the hands of an even greater force in times to come. The Saiyan-Tuffle War is one of the major wars coveted with envy, power, and ambition, three qualities that have continued to reverberate throughout the Dragon Ball universe.